Certainly hate uncertainty, but James touched on it, so let's talk about it, because as Ireland's bailout rumbles on, attention now switches back to Greece on Tuesday, because a mission from the European Union and the International Monetary Fund has announced today that Greece will qualify for a third tranche of aid worth €9 billion. But it says that Greece must make an extra effort to address its deficit next year. And of course, the government has had to agree new measures to broaden tax bases and eliminate wasteful spending. Let's get more on all of this, because Charles Jenkins from the Economist Intelligence Unit joins us. Charles, welcome to the program. It's good to have you with us. So Greece must make this so-called extra effort. Exactly what are we talking about, do you think?
Well, the IMF is saying that Greece has done well in the last year. It has got its deficit down from 15.4 to 9.4% in 1 year, which is more than any other country has achieved in this last year. But unfortunately, it is a bit like a marathon runner who's done well in the first third of the marathon, but still has got 2/3 to go. And the next phase is going to be more difficult. Even though its target is only to get it to 7.5% of GDP next year, the IMF reckons that that is going to be extremely difficult because basically the low-lying fruit has already been picked. And they're going to have to make really difficult measures to cut spending on the public sector, not by cutting wages, because they've done that.
So what else can they do then? Can I ask, sorry Charles, sorry to interrupt, what else can they do? What particular points do you think we'll see the Greek government take?
They've got to address two sectors. One is health spending, which is not properly under control, and the other is public sector enterprises, which are still extremely inefficient. Now, George Papandreou, in a BBC Hard Talk interview, said that he did not expect to have any redundancies from the government sector. Obviously, there will be natural wastage and therefore gradual shrinkage, but will that be enough? That may be a difficult question that Mr. Papandreou has got to answer in the next year if he's going to achieve the targets set by the IMF and the EU.
And Charles, just very briefly, because the markets have certainly switched their attention away from what we saw yesterday with Ireland. Okay, today is Greece. But really, the focus for the markets and investors is who could possibly be next. And a lot of speculation that it starts with a P, Portugal.
Yes, I think that there will be speculation against Portugal. We certainly predicted that. I would say Portugal is not in as bad a situation as either Greece or Ireland. It hasn't seen nearly such a dramatic deterioration of either its public sector or its banking sector. But it's been a very long story, and it's very slow moving. Portugal has basically been a weak economy for the last 7 or 8 years. The question is, can it just go on like that, or is something going to have to change in order to allow it to move to a growth path? And I think that's what's going to cause investors anxiety.
Okay, Charles Jenkins, thanks very much for joining us. Charles, we much appreciate your input. Charles is, of course, from the Economist Intelligence Unit. Let's move on.